Hiya, I'm Tava Tucker.
And I'm Racheli Marks, and together we connect through the stories we hear.
During our episodes, we hope to learn,
revolutionize,
inspire, transform, and bring relatable content to you.
We would like to also discuss and internalize how your story can be someone's savior. This is the official
Together We Connect
podcast. Hi everyone, it's Racheli Marks
and Tava Tucker,
and we are back for another episode, and we're so excited because we have a virtual visitor, so she's not with us actually in person.
She's from overseas.
She's in Ramat Gan
in Israel.
So I'm sure lots of things happening, but she has made the time to be with us today, and we are so excited. So without further ado, we're going to introduce Dina Kay. Hello.
Hello everyone, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm so excited to be with you guys here today, even though it's virtually.
Yes, it's so nice.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time, and we are very excited to hear your story and background.
So yeah, we would love to basically, okay, so let's go back to when this specific journey. I would love you to actually introduce and say what you want to be speaking about.
Sure. So I want to talk about my journey of addiction to weed and alcohol, and how it morphed from an addiction to alcohol to an addiction to weed, with a potential addiction to cocaine. Yeah. So that's my story, and I would love to talk about from the beginning, as we said. So should we go all the way back? I'm ready.
Yeah, all the way back.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did this start for you?
So this started around the age of 15, when I left a religious school and went to a less religious school, and a bunch of things have been building up, a bunch of traumatic events have been building up in my life, not knowing where, and then obviously just the normal teenage stuff, like not knowing where I belong, not knowing my place in the world, not knowing what I was doing, where I was going, who I wanted to love and who I didn't want to, and my friends and this, and it was very confusing. And at that point I was like, all my friends are going out, they're all partying. What's the issue with me going partying, right? So I used to go partying out a lot.
Right.
I used to go drinking a lot with my friends, even though I wasn't legal.
And how old were your friends? Were they like older?
My friends were my friends were about my age or a year older than me.
Okay.
Which so around the same age, which was good, I guess. It all started when my friend passed away.
Oh
and my friend and I, it's really hard. We went to the trampoline in my house, and I stole money from my grandmother. I stole about 300 grams from my grandmother's purse, which I'm not proud of course, but in addition, we do things that we're not proud of.
Sure.
And I went and I bought a huge bottle of vodka for me and my friends. There were three of us, we finished 3/4 of it, and we were all drunk out of our minds.
It sounds like a normal bunch of teenagers going...
going rogue.
Exactly, 100%. It sounds exactly like that. And I think that's what I want to emphasize is those normal teenage experiences can possibly add up and accumulate into an addiction if you're not careful with what you're doing and how much you're using and where you're at. But at the same time, I do believe that an addict is born an addict, which I can talk about.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure both of us would.
Yeah, something a little spicy. Anyway, so after this going rogue, as you said, that's when it started. The death of my friend was very traumatic for me. And I was like, wow, when I was drunk, it solved everything. I didn't feel anything.
Yeah,
it was
you
great.
weren't sad anymore.
Exactly, I wasn't sad anymore. I was finally happy, and I didn't have to worry. My mind was quiet for the first time in a while.
Sure.
Wow.
So I was like...
It didn't, and after that happiness, that high level, do you not have a crash of depression or?
Yeah, I definitely did have a crash of depression, but that only became more apparent the more and more I went into drinking. So at the beginning it was just happiness, and I didn't feel much. And then as time went by, it got a bit more depressive.
Became like your crutch, the way that you actually survived all your feelings.
100%. So it slowly started me going to parties more, just to go drinking. And then it escalated to me stealing my father's vodka from his cupboard without him knowing, stealing it and putting it in a vodka bottle and hiding it in the fireplace. And then every so often, if I was feeling sad, I would go down and I would drink from the vodka and I would feel happy again. Or I would drink wine while I was studying for matric. I was to be studying for matric and I was drinking wine out of a huge bottle. And my parents were like, oh, she's just 18 now, like she's just having fun. No one knew about my problem. Absolutely no one knew what I was going through.
It's amazing because there are so many teenagers who probably struggle like this and they probably don't even know that they have a problem.
For sure.
But you've admitted to it, which is like, they always say, isn't that the first step to recovery?
100%. Admitting you have a problem and just realizing how powerless you are against addiction, I think is the biggest first step.
Wow.
That's rough. Okay, wow. Okay, please carry on.
So 18 matric, and then...
So wait, you've been addicted for, is it 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years, completely addicted, like getting, like vomiting everywhere all the time.
Just plastered.
Absolutely. And my parents thought it was just normal teenage behavior. Like, I'd come from a party and I was throwing up the whole night. But what they didn't know was while I was throwing up the whole night, this is when the depression started to kick in. I would come home and the crash would happen, and I was like, I can't feel anything. Wait, I can't feel anything. This is awful. And I used to cut myself in my room, and I'd be bleeding from my legs, and I'd be like, well, at least I'm feeling something that isn't pain, you know, at least physical and emotional pain. And so I would cope with that pain from the alcohol, and in this way.
Sure. So
was there any like support, or you just felt very lost and alone, or?
So I had a therapist, and my parents were always there for me in general. I just didn't want to share with my parents because no one wants to share with their parents if they're an addict, because I didn't want anyone to stop me.
Yes.
You know?
You have to take that responsibility, and you weren't ready to.
100%. I think that's why I'm in the program, the 12-step program that I'm in right now. They always say that if an addict isn't ready to get clean, there's no point in even trying, you know?
Wow.
Sure.
They're not gonna put in the effort, and they're gonna relapse. So you have to hit a form of rock bottom, and I definitely did as the story goes on.
Wow, this is a very emotional
and very real,
and I'm gonna say dark.
Yeah, it seems like a really dark part of your life.
Heavy story to go through. So how did things then develop to drugs? When did that come in?
So the next thing was I was on my gap year, and I had a suicide attempt while I was drunk. I went onto the balcony and said to God, make me fly. And I stood on the balcony when I was drunk, and I was like, okay, I'm going to jump off right now. And I didn't, thank God, because my friends pulled me back off. But from that point on, the count said, Dina, if you drink again, you're not going to be on this program, you have to go back home. So that kind of forced me into not drinking as much as I would have for a little bit of a while. And then I continued to drink anyway, because when you're an addict and you'll find any way to get the alcohol, you know. But eventually I weaned myself off of alcohol. I realized I had a problem, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stop. And somehow, by the grace of my higher power, I did stop. But that's one thing I want to emphasize to anyone who is listening, that if you stop one substance and start another, that doesn't mean that you stopped your addiction entirely. It means that you're just an addict.
Right.
Okay, wait, I would love for you to elaborate on that.
Sure. So I'm completely cross-addicted, meaning that I realized I had a problem with alcohol and thought, I stopped. Then I just stopped. I didn't do any program. I didn't go to rehab. I just stopped. And I thought, oh, wow, I'm cured. Like, that's fun. So that means I can go smoke weed. I can go do drugs. I can have all this fun because I'm completely cured.
So you replaced the addiction.
Exactly.
With a new addiction.
Exactly. Isn't that so bad?
That's so fun. You didn't just have one issue anymore.
Exactly. I had to add some more to it.
Oh, that's so rough and so real and just so, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's really such a difficult one, because I think so many people, I think all addicts have the potential to be so addicted to so many things.
For sure.
And also I feel like always people say like, are you an addictive personality? You know, like that's one of the biggest things people ask me. And like, I don't know, like it's not so simple, but
I think that there's like today's world is like such a broad spectrum of view. But I think on some level we can all be in that place. It's what is causing that extreme drive.
Yes.
And I think it comes from a place of, as you said, like if you go through a life crisis or grief or some form, life crisis, then your brain has to give you some sort of comfort, and you get drawn more into doing things. It's a bit like, I guess, gambling, all the same.
Yeah.
Gambling, drugs.
It's everything.
Because it makes you feel, you want to feel alive again, you know, you want to have that
moment
drive,
of freedom.
that moment of freedom. But unfortunately, it's amazing how because on a podcast, my brain's ticking, but it's crazy how dark we can get.
Yes.
And then we hit rock bottom, and then to ask then for help.
Yes, it's like so shameful. Yeah. You feel so ashamed.
Are you following me with that one? Like, I don't know if I'm anything.
No, that makes it up.
Anything relatable there. So Dina, just a bit. Where are you now? Like, as in like.
As of yesterday, I'm 8 months clean and serene, which is really cool.
Okay, so
I'm 8 months off of all substances.
Wow.
It's so exciting because when I originally spoke to Dina about this, I think you were only around 4 months at the time.
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
you were 4 months, and you said that you were advised to only talk about this after a certain amount of time. And it's just amazing that you have pushed through and you are able to actually communicate this with people, you know, while you're still on this journey.
For sure, I'm so grateful to my higher power for getting me here, because if it wasn't without my higher power, without my 12-step program, and without people who just are willing to listen to me and love me, I wouldn't have been able to be where I am today, and I'm so grateful.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, Racheli and I are just like holding you right now.
Yes.
And we have so much respect for you, your journey, and if you can share with us a bit more. So how did you get to the drugs? Was it a friend that offered it, or?
So I went on kibbutz, I lived in kibbutz, and when you live in a kibbutz, everyone's smoking weed, you know, it's so chill. They're like, oh, you want to join? Like, let's go smoke a joint. And at that time, I had bipolar type 2. So at that time, I was like, oh, I know that will make my bipolar worse. It will become type 1 if I smoke weed, or it will turn into psychosis. And so I said, no, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't. Yeah, I held that for a while with weed in my face, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that.
Wow.
While you were still fighting your addiction with alcohol.
Correct.
Gee whiskers, you were really trying here.
So what age were you around then? Like, just as a timeline?
I was 19.
Oh, what? So you're young. You're very
So it started from 15. It was triggered through grief.
Grief and mental illness in general, yeah.
I mean, you said you struggle with bipolar, so did you think that had a huge impact on the addictive side of things?
Yeah, I think definitely. My mood disorder definitely, like, I'm more prone to addiction because I have anxiety, impulsivity is a really, really big thing.
Yes. So if we're going into bipolar, I'm not actually sure the difference between type 1 versus type 2, but a lot of people talk about depressive episodes as well as psychosis as well as mania.
For sure.
And had you experienced both throughout your life?
I've experienced depressive and I've experienced hypomania, but not mania, because I'm pretty good at that.
Are you able to explain a bit about that?
Yeah. Could you?
Sure. So my understanding of it is mania is where you have the pupils dilated, what you think of mania as, where you need to be hospitalized. Whereas hypomania is not reaching that mania status, more feeling awake, creative, all over the place.
Sort of like, what's it called?
Okay. No, I didn't know there was a type 1 and a type 2. As in,
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I didn't know there was a type 1 or type 2. I know that there's a spectrum. That's what I understood.
Okay, no, thank you.
That's so informative.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Every time we do this podcast, we've been doing this crazy, Dina, for like 3 years.
Yeah, coming up 3 years.
Yeah,
we just learned so much.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah.
So thank you. And so hypomania, I think it's probably actually very, very common. People like just keep on going. So yeah, and that's also rough because you're just expected to keep going even though you're struggling.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a learning journey. So, when you went to Israel and the kibbutz, was it just you or you went with a friend? Like, was this a whole new journey?
So it was a whole new journey, and I made new friends, but a lot of my issues was feeling very alone and feeling that no one cared about me or loved me. And so my only friends was addiction, or it was alcohol, was weed. So that's certainly how I felt in general.
I genuinely feel like crying. That's it's such a real thing to say. Like, I feel like something we could definitely put on this podcast was alcohol and drugs felt like your friend.
Yeah.
Because it's also like when you're, about your journey, I'm just reflecting a bit on it, and we've only just started, but between the ages of 15 and 19 is like you enter this world where when you were a kid, you lived in La La Land, where you thought teenage hoods and like, who do I love? And then when you're 19, you're like figuring out this world, and you're quite alone. You were quite alone with your feelings, and then you make friends with the weed, whatever you had to, because that's what was fulfilling. And I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I get on some level that understanding it. This is what you needed. Like, it was kind of help, but like and it felt good at the time. I'm sure it felt good at certain times, like.
And it felt so good, and it also helped me create new friends, because I'm like, I had friends who were using as well, so I'm like,
you're like, cool, I'll do what you do.
Yeah, exactly, it really is. If I jump over a cliff, would you too? And I said yes.
Yeah,
sure. That's really rough, and it's.
Tell us more. So then,
I was on kibbutz, and I was looking at all these drugs, and eventually I was like, I want to try. My life has become chaotic. I was battling really badly with depression due to the alcohol and due to a lot of life circumstances. And I was like, I need something to help me. I'm thinking too much. I'm feeling too much. I'm cutting myself all the time. The only option is to try another drugs, try something else. So my one friend from kibbutz, she came to my house. At that point, I was living in Herzliya. And she came with a big joint, and she said, okay, Dina, we're going to get you high. And I said, sounds good. So I got so high that I couldn't open my eyes. I was on the couch rocking back and forth, and I was like, dude, what's going on right now? And it's so real. It was awful. Thinking back, I'm like, I can't believe I was inebriated, but I didn't know what was going on around me. I couldn't even open my eyes.
Sure.
So that was my first experience being high, and I was like, there's this quote from Euphoria, a TV show about teenagers with drugs and alcohol and stuff as well.
Yeah, I've seen these. It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. So she says, I've been searching for this feeling my entire life. And in that moment, that was so real to me. I've been searching for this ability to breathe, to feel like I was okay for my entire life.
Yeah.
And I finally had that, being able to breathe when I tried weed.
Wow.
So I went on with life, and I went to Baylan University. I studied there for a little bit. I did drop out due to the addiction, but I was smoking every day by then, for like half a joint, let's just say. And I started smoking 3 joints a day, 4 joints a day. And eventually when it got to its peak, I was at 7 joints a day. 7 full joints, no tobacco a day.
That's like, wow, okay.
No, yeah, wow. That's real.
Yeah, so it was a lot of shit in my system, excuse my language. So that was hard. And I started started losing friends. I started self-isolating. I started doing it by myself instead of doing it with friends. I would only do it by myself.
And that's when it really gets worse.
Was it, Dina, because they didn't want to be around you, or you started feeling symptoms or not feeling well? How did that develop?
So I didn't understand the question.
Like, as in, like, were you, how come you started feeling isolated? Like, your friends started moving away from you because you're doing too much, or?
Well, no, I completely isolated myself from them. I was like,
right.
I don't want anyone to know how much I'm using. I just want to be by myself and get high. And instead of hanging out with friends, I would actively choose to get high instead of seeing my friends. Because I'd be like, well, weed is my better friend because it's been with me for longer than my friends.
It was like self-sabotage, like everything.
100%. I take accountability on that now.
Sure. And I just think about this because I know that you're 23 at the moment. Or...
Yes.
Sorry?
Almost 23, yeah.
Oh, almost 23. And I just wanted to say, like, people at your age who already have this problem, it takes them probably at least another 20 years to realize they have it.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like, how determined you were to actually, like, I don't know, look in the mirror and be like, this is not okay.
Okay, let's talk about that a bit more. So, Dina, you started doing on your own, and then what happened?
So I started, and then I wrote. At one point, the weed was just not enough. I wasn't getting as high as I wanted to, so I spoke to my dealer about ordering cocaine. I had cocaine on a speed dial, and I was looking really forward to it. But at that time, I was very depressed. I didn't go to university anyway. I dropped out of university because I couldn't function. I wasn't functioning. I didn't shower. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't do my hair. I was just like, use, weed. So that was the only thing I was thinking in my life. So I ordered the cocaine. I wrote a suicide letter. And once I wrote that suicide letter, I was like, what am I doing? Thank to my higher power. He just guided me and he was like, what are you doing? And I called my parents and I said, Mom, Dad, I didn't tell them about my addiction yet. They still didn't know. And I said, Mom and Dad, I need to come home to South Africa. I want to go to hospital. I'm not doing well right now. And kudos to my parents. As soon as I said that, they said, okay, come home. And so that was my rock bottom.
Wow.
So you really had to hit it.
And yeah, I really had to hit the rock bottom. I think maybe I'm kind of euphemizing how bad it really was.
No, there's no way of describing it.
Exactly. Thank you for understanding that.
No, there's really no way.
Yeah.
And like, no matter with anything in life, I feel like when someone is telling you a story of what they went through, you genuinely are like, I'm trying to explain this to the best of my ability, but there is no chance I'm going to explain the pain I was experiencing and how useless you feel.
100%. I just felt like a shell of a human being.
Jeez.
Because it's that heartache that you just can't describe.
Yeah, and I would love to touch on the self-harm. Did the self-harm start after you started drinking, or was this a part of your life already?
When I was 13, I started self-harming.
Wow, and that's a whole nother ball game to deal with. So,
for sure, and the two of them combined was just a lethal combination.
Yeah, proper lethal.
Okay, so just one quick one. When you were in Israel, though, like, because when you called your parents, you had dropped out of university, and in terms of like supporting yourself financially, like, was that also like part of the, like, everything in your life, like, kind of like falling apart, like, gee, I've got to get out of this?
So I think that's the biggest regret that I do have, is that I would steal money from my parents in order to support my addiction.
Yeah.
They would give me a certain amount of money a month to financially support myself, and I would spend all of it on weed, and I would have to ask them for more money, and I didn't tell them where the money went.
Oh, sure.
Wow, okay.
And that must have been so, like, your parents must have felt so helpless knowing that afterwards.
For sure. It's my biggest regret, because how did I do that to the people that I love the most?
Well, I mean, those are the people that addiction affect the most. The people that you love the most.
100%. 100%.
Wow.
Do you want to talk about the self-harm?
Yeah. Do you want to...
Are you comfortable with that?
Oh, yeah. I think that I've actually touched on most of it. Like, when I was 13, I found out what it was, and I was like, wait, let me give it a try, because I'm dealing with a lot of pain right now. It was never, like, just a natural thing. I heard about it on the internet, and I was like, you know what, that sounds like something that could help me right now. The way people are describing it sounds like it could help me. And so I started cutting myself very lightly, and then things just got, a little deeper into my skin.
Yeah, they progress.
Exactly.
So what was causing that? That was just
my mental health issues, just causing that, and general pain and general teenage pain, not knowing what I'm doing, where I'm going.
Was it that all of a sudden your brain started to change and develop, and new hormones were pumping through your body?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd definitely say so.
Okay. It's a thing that I always like to talk about on the podcast. It's that your brain does not fully develop until 25. So it's really a very isolating experience to be a teenager. And this is why we brought teenagers on, actually, specifically, because we wanted to
hear their voice though.
Yeah, hear what they have to say. And even if there isn't much, they feel like they know what's going on, like as much as they have so many feelings, I think they're just trying to figure them out.
100%.
And that's, I think people should understand that. Like, I feel like a lot of people talk about their teens as like, oh my gosh, my teen, like they did this or they did that. And I totally understand why they're getting confused by it. Their brain has developed, whereas their kid has not.
And have you gone for help with the self-harm?
Thank God I have.
It's amazing, and it's a constant journey, and something that it's something you live with, That's.
I mean, Dina, you're almost 23, but you sound like you've lived a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people say that. Yeah.
I have two questions. So, if somebody now is going through someone your age is going through the middle of exactly what you went through, what advice would you give them? And then someone on the outside who has no idea, has never been like that, but thinks they know, what advice would you give them?
Sheesh, good question.
Someone who's around my age going through what I'm going through, I would first give them sympathy and saying I understand you. And I would say that you don't feel like an addict because you haven't been to your rock bottom yet. Yes is the word. You're going to get there. And when you do get there, I want you to remember the sentence that pulled me out of it. I don't know why, but I want people to know this. 1 is too many, and 1,000 never enough. You will have one drug, but it will never be enough for you. You will always be chasing your next high. You will live your entire life surrounded by drugs. You're going to live to use and use to live. And I want people to remember that.
Wow. That's
was that like something you learned with your, is it rehab? Is that the right?
Yeah, I learned in rehab within my 12-step program.
Jeez. I want you to message all of these to me afterwards. I want to write them all down because they're unbelievable.
Yeah,
sure.
Very grateful.
And then to someone who's on the outside, who has no idea what's going on but think they do.
I would say that first of all, if they think that they know what's going on, I'd first say I wish you peace and understanding, and that you only know love and never know what I've been through. And I'm grateful that you think that you know everything, but you don't know everything. So I'm grateful for that person, and they should be grateful too.
Sure. That's powerful. The reason why I asked that was because you've been through a lot of tremendous pain, and some people will turn up their noses, and I was just very curious to know, and it just shows how far you've come, that on some level, and you can be proud of yourself that you've kind of forgiven yourself on some level, because you wouldn't have been able to answer that question if you hadn't forgiven Dina. Dina's been on a journey. Dina has climbed those mountains, and you've climbed a mountain, Dina. There's that physical mountain of Kilimanjaro, but you've emotionally climbed the mountain, and you can really take your hat off.
Yeah, we're just so proud of you and so honored to meet you.
Oh, I love y'all. Thank you so much for your kindness.
So, Dina, what does life look for you now in the future, like to where you are now? Or even
I guess
maybe the future's scary. What about the present?
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening in the future.
It's like, bro.
But present is going to 12-step meetings once a day. I do my step work, my 12-step work. I write a lot. I journal a lot. I pray a lot. That's how I currently stay clean and serene. I have a sponsor and I have everyone that supports me. I make sure that I'm always with friends and always with people who love and care about me. And I make sure that I'm always open-minded, willing, and honest. And with those, I'll be okay.
I want to shout out to your sponsor. We don't need to say any names, obviously, but just a shout out to them, because they should just be so proud of how supportive they've been through this journey with you. And please God, like in the future, you can just build an awesome connection with this person, because and it's all thanks to these sponsors, these people who have gone through it before, that they can truly understand where someone with addiction is coming from.
Exactly. I'm so grateful to them. They've saved my life.
It's amazing. And please God, this has saved someone's, So is there a message maybe you want to say to someone out there who's struggling right now? Like,
Yeah, there's so many things I would want to say, but I just want to say that they're loved, they're cared for, they're not going to be alone. Even though if they've burned their relationships, there's always a way to come back from that. I want them to know that there will always be a way out, because I didn't feel like there was a way out, and that reach out to anyone who will listen to you.
That's amazing.
And that's my advice.
And to anyone who is not admitting to themselves that they have a problem, this is the tough one. This is this is the hardest part, I think, that I find that from like your own experience. Like, what do you say to someone who will not admit it to themselves?
For me, I knew that I needed to hit rock bottom. Before I even admitted it to myself. Unfortunately, I would love to have an answer on how to prevent that. But from my experience, I wouldn't be able to give a concrete answer.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think
that's real.
Hard, because you can't live someone else's life for them.
No, definitely not.
So it's definitely a hard one. But Dina, I think just on a general note, the 12-step program that you went through, is there other messages that we can learn from you today?
Oh, there's so many. There are so many. There's like so many books and so much literature from this 12-step program I'm in that have saved me, that has comforted me, that has held me.
So can you share anything that's like held you or comforts you? Because I think someone who, not just a similar journey, but other pain, someone who's lost someone or going through an illness or health or something, that could do with like some advice or some empowering message. Have you got anything to share?
Yeah, I think the main empowering message that I've learned is to join this 12-step program, because you'll have a fellowship of people who understand you and don't make you feel alone. And that in and of itself, finally having support, finally having people who understand, is the best advice I could give, is the best thing that this program has to offer, is other people.
So from understanding, the key word here is validation?
Yeah, validation and understanding.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? As human beings, whatever we go through, it's like your emotions and what you're feeling, I can't tell you to stop feeling. But what I can do is I can reach out to you and hug you and validate, because that's real.
Yeah.
That is what authenticity is. That what is connection. That is what me, you, Racheli, that's all we're here for. We're here on this earth to connect. Is that amazing?
Yeah.
So
together we connect.
Yeah, together we connect.
It's amazing. And it's really a real thing, and we're so grateful. And before we do end off, we always like to say something we're feeling grateful for in the moment. And would you like to start?
Sure. I'm feeling grateful for my recovery.
That's amazing. That's really incredible. I'm feeling so grateful for you're very, it's, as you were saying earlier, you're like, I'm sorry that I can't quite explain this, but I love how real you are. And I'm so grateful for how realistic and how honest you've been going through this situation. Like, it's so brave to be able to share your story, because in hopes that someone else hears this. It shows so much courage, and I'm just so grateful for you and for Tova for this and her incredible way of asking questions and just getting exactly what we need to hear. So thank you.
What you amazing humans are saying.
No, thank you, Tova, and thank you, Dina. I'm so grateful for both of you.
Sure, thank you. Well, where does one even start? But if I'll take a moment, which is what I'm thankful for, is going through my day and just having those mindful moments, like sitting on the couch this morning and being with my 18-month-old daughter and just like reading a book, or being in this podcast and talking about real things and pain and hardship and how we can all connect. And just thankful for friendships. I think I'm really thankful for friendships and mindful moments. Dina, I'm so excited for this new friendship.
Yeah.
That we have on together, we connect, and
it's just something that will bond us forever.
Yeah.
If you ever need to say no, my friend, I got you.
Thank you. Don't say that to everyone. You'll have like a horde of people. It's like, hey, what's up?
Just a quick one in terms of like socially, if someone does want to smoke weed, or how do you are you tempted? Like, how do you help yourself deal with it? Thanks, Racheli.
I make sure that I'm not surrounded by people who use all the time. And if I do go dancing, I make sure that I go with a safe person who will help me through the moments that are tough. And I tell my sponsor before I go and after I come back.
Wow.
You're very good at this. You know what you're doing, and we believe in you. I look forward to like a catch-up call where you're like 40 years sober, you know. Please God, that's just incredible.
And you're brave. You're really brave, hey?
Like, especially being like somewhat new to the journey. I know it has been a long time, and we're so proud of that. But it's still somewhat fresh, you know. And it's amazing. No words.
Okay, Dean.
Thank you so much.
To wrap up, do you have a mantra or quote that you would like to end off with?
God is good.
Okay. Yeah, we're all just like, bro. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much, and thank you to all our listeners.
Thank you to everyone out there.
Wishing you all the best with your rehab journey.
And we just, wow. It was another amazing episode. Thank you so much, Dina. Thank you, Tova.
Thank you. All the best. Hey?
Thank you so much to everyone listening out there.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.